Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a question that just about anyone who leads a group thinks about. What's the secret to great classroom rapport? Is it some kind of magic that only a few people are born with? Or is it a concrete method that, anyone can actually learn? Let's find out. This question from our source material really hits home, doesn't it? You've probably seen this yourself. That one classroom that's just buzzing with energy and connection, and it's right next door to one that feels, well, cold. You can feel the difference the second you walk in. So what on earth makes that difference? So we're going to start by pulling back the curtain on this supposed magic trick. Is that electric connection in a classroom some kind of unknowable art form, or is there a real science to it? Let's uncover that secret. Okay, first things first, let's get a clear definition on the table. Rapport isn't just a one-way street from the teacher to the student. Nope, it's the overall quality of all the relationships happening in the room. And did you catch that key phrase from the source? It grows naturally. But the real question is, can we create the right conditions for it to grow? Well, here's the big reveal. The answer is a clear no. It's not magic at all. Good rapport is actually built from distinct, concrete, and, this is the most important part, learnable elements. And that's huge because it means it's a skill you can develop, not some personality trait you either have or you don't. So, if rapport is a skill, that means there must be a recipe, right? So let's break down the essential ingredients, the practical steps you can actually take to start building that genuine connection. Now, what's really interesting here is that these are the absolute fundamentals. I mean, think of them as the foundation of a house. Without authenticity, without genuinely listening, without respect, and a bit of humor, any other technique you try to build on top of that is just going to feel hollow. It's not going to work. The point is, techniques are totally useless without a genuine foundation. Okay, let's get into the practical toolkit. The first 4 techniques here are so powerful. Being welcoming is more than just a greeting. It's about making space for a little unstructured talk. Treating learners as individuals, not just the class, that's a total game changer. Remembering small positive details shows you genuinely see them. And empathy, of course. That's all about trying to see the world from their point of view. All right, let's move on to the second half and see how this all builds. Step 5 is crucial. Be you. Be a human being, not just a role. There's that authenticity again. And don't fake your emotions. Students have an amazing radar for that stuff. The last 2 are all about creating a safe space, being culturally aware and avoiding sarcasm, which is almost impossible to get right and honestly often just causes unintended hurt. The big picture from all 8 of these, it's simple. See the individual, be authentic, and create a safe space. So we've covered the foundational attitudes and the practical everyday actions. But rapport also has this deeper, kind of nonverbal layer. This is the art of synchrony, creating an unconscious alignment that makes a connection feel almost effortless. Now, this is the stuff that might look like magic, but trust me, it's based on some really fascinating psychological principles. These techniques come from what's known as neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP for short. It starts with mirroring, which is just discreetly reflecting someone's posture or their movements. Then you've got pacing, where you kind of synchronize with their movements as they change. And finally, there's leading, where after you've built that connection, you initiate a small change, and they subconsciously follow you. It's all about building a deep, nonverbal connection, a vibe, really. But, and this is a big but, here's an important warning, and it comes straight from our source material. These techniques can come across as super manipulative if they aren't backed by genuine intention. So the crucial point is, this can't just be a performance. It has to come from an authentic desire to actually connect with another person. Okay, so building all this connection brings up what might be the most complex, trickiest question of all. Where do you draw the line? Are you a friend? Are you a teacher? Or are you something else entirely? Let's explore those boundaries. Let's just put the question right out there. Is it okay to be friends with students? I mean, some teachers would shout no from the rooftops, while others can't imagine teaching any other way. The source is really clear that there's no single right answer here. It all comes down to your own philosophy. And this image from our source material just illustrates the different philosophies so brilliantly. Just take a second to look at this continuum. It maps out 3 main viewpoints on the teacher-student dynamic. On one end, you can see your students as workers, focused only on the task. In the middle, you've got students, a more traditional view. And then all the way on the other end, you've got people, where you acknowledge their whole lives. Each one of these has huge implications for how you interact. And where you fall on this spectrum basically defines your personal boundaries. Let's break down what these really mean in practice. This table lays it all out, contrasting the 3 models side by side. So in the workers model, personal life is totally irrelevant and friendship is a liability. It's a purely professional boundary. The student's model is that classic middle ground. The work comes first, but there's room to acknowledge the person when you need to. But then look at the people model. Here, a student's outside life is crucial. Interaction is way more natural and human, and friendship isn't seen as a danger. It's just a natural outcome of a positive relationship. There's no single right answer, but it's so important to know where you stand. So where do you find yourself on this continuum? So we've seen that building rapport isn't magic, right? It's a mix of a genuine foundation, a toolkit of practical techniques, and a really clear personal philosophy on relationships. The real question now shifts to you. What's your rapport style, and how are you going to consciously use these tools? Let's end with this final provocative question from the source. How do you react to colleagues who criticize teachers for having a good, friendly relationship with students? They often warn about dangers like losing discipline or blurring the lines. Are they right? Or is the potential for creating a deeply engaged and motivated classroom worth navigating those risks? That's definitely something to think about.